why when I start playing the game again, like I kind of feel had that muscle memory for the game, and I was like, okay, I'm not as sharp as when I was a kid, but I think I can get even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry for interrupting you here. Let me just review something. Okay, so you've gone with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and who are your other two? Super Saiyan 2 Team Gohan and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Okay, that was a good guess on my part. Okay,
yeah.
I
This
will
this
take.
this one thing Gohan, I'm just playing it because this is one of the characters. Like this team is the team that I play the most on with the CPU, but
Mm-hmm.
I can change it. Like switch it up for Kid Buu or something like that. In
Oh,
case it's not
absolutely.
in case it's not being so viable.
Yeah. The only thing I would recommend, the first question I'm going to ask you though actually is I don't know if I can't remember if I already asked you this. What kind of playstyle are you trying to achieve?
Hmm.
Like, do you want to play competitive? Do you want to just have fun with the game and like kind of be a styler, or do you want to do a mix of both, which is basically what I am these days?
A mix of both, I would say.
Okay, cool. Then that'll make it a little easier to teach you because, well, the only problem again that we have to worry about is you being able to execute some of the stuff I'm going to be teaching you because it's 7 buffer. But if you can get used to that and then you'll have time to play after this session is over, then it just really depends on how much time you have to practice.
All right.
Alright, so the first thing I'm going to teach you in terms of movement, I was thinking of teaching you how to do this, but I think you already know how the sway works, right?
Uh, the sway with the like let's see.
So it's your dash button and then your guard button while in close quarters.
Oh,
Yep.
that one. Yeah.
Yes. So you see how you're drifting like this?
Hmm.
This is called the step-in barrier, and you can only do this while you're in the step-in barrier. So the moment
Correct.
I move out of the bubble, like I'm moving a lot faster like this, obviously you can't do it anymore. But
Yeah, I
if you
can do the
happen,
dashes.
yes, exactly. But if you happen to punt, if you happen to, oh, wait, I thought you could punt. Yeah, you can. Wait, hold on a second. Let me see something. Oh, so you can't do that in this game. I don't know why I didn't try that before. Well, you can still punch and then do it all the time, and if you happen to backstep once, you can just keep mashing and you can do it even while you're outside of the bubble, but this is the only time that you can actually do that. There's no
All right. So.
benefit to that, I'm just making you aware of it.
All right. All right.
Alright, so the first thing I'm going to teach you actually is perfect flanking. The first thing I'm going to teach you is one thing in particular. The most important thing about Tenkaichi 3 is alignment. So do you see? Can you see how Vegeta is looking at himself pretty much like it on exact eye level?
Yes.
Are you familiar with a mechanic called the perfect flank or ground dash, as some people like to call it?
I have see it. I have saw it.
Like
I mean.
this.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I have saw that. I have watched some videos about it, but I don't know how to pull it off actually.
So what you want to do is you want to hit your ascend button, which should be R1, which is the same button that you use to jump, and then you hit your X button, and this will
So
allow you to do the flank. Now, if you do it without any directional input, you're just going to end up dashing in the direction that you're facing. But if you do it while holding forward, this will allow you to flank your opponent like this.
all right. So it would be like
Try to hit the buttons practically at the same time.
okay.
There you
Oh that.
go. Nice.
Oh. All right. So it's not one first and the other one, but it's
Yeah,
like
it's
at the same
literally
time.
like at the same time. I've got my gamepad viewer on, so don't worry, you'll see in the thing. So what I wanted to teach you about the alignment thing is you see how we're making eye contact. Each
Correct.
character model in the game has a different kind of alignment, and I'll show you something really quick. So you notice how how I was able to continue flanking you like this, right?
Correct.
That's because we're on the same eye contact level. Our character models are identical. So if I do it even once, I can just continue doing it without having to press R2. However, if I switch to Super Saiyan 2 Team Gohan,
Oh yeah. It's
oh wow, actually, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta's model is Hold on, stand still for a second.
What?
Oh, it's because you're not exactly standing straight. That's why. I didn't actually think these two models would be identical. So what I thought was gonna happen. Okay, so if I punch you, I still go off alignment. Not alignment. I go airborne. But if I
Correct.
flank. Wow, that's surprising. I didn't actually know that until now. This shows how much I use this character against Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. But anyway, when you're using a smaller character against a big character, for example, switch to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He's taller, so it should not work the same with him. Wrong character. It's okay, I'll switch to mine. Just throw a punch at me really quick. So you see how that makes you airborne?
Correct, yes.
Some characters, when you're the same height, or in my case, because I'm taller than you, if I punch you once, I'm still on the ground. And if I stop for a minute, I can just flank you like that. So these are the kind of things that you want to try and keep in mind depending on what character you have. For example, if you're using Piccolo End, and you decide to stop punching on the first, second, third, or fourth punch of his second string, because ideally after your second string is when you want to do this, and the reason why is because on your second string, you see how much more damage you do on the back than the front?
Oh yeah, I knew about that.
Yeah, so ideally, yeah, go ahead.
That's why I was practicing like doing, doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like this.
Yes.
That's kind of the only thing that I have learned that is kind of technical. Is like, I was watching one of the videos that you have posted on the Discord. It's like going dash forward and then like getting to the back of the other person. That's the only thing that I kind of learned how to do it, but still like 7 out of 10 times I can do it.
7 out of 10 is still good. You got it more than 3 times. That's much better than average. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
What I want you to go ahead.
When we were playing, something that I noticed is that when I try to do that to you, you always like push me away with the key blast and stuff, and that's kind of the thing that make me wonder. Like, okay, I need to learn something else to avoid that because that easily being encountered.
Yeah, so another thing I'll teach you before we move on to what I was going to say is regarding the key blasts. Key blasts are also, they contribute to your forms of movement, and what I mean by that is each time you use a key blast, excuse me for a second, I had to cough. Each time you use a key blast on your opponent, it pushes them away slightly. You see how much farther back you got pushed, right?
Correct.
So each time you do this, let's say I backstep once and I'm still in the bubble, but if I shoot a couple more key blasts at you, now I'm in free movement, right?
Correct.
So this will allow me to dash freely if I want to. However, if I'm in the step barrier and I decide to do this, then I'll have to do key blast and then a flank like this and keep doing this if I want. Now the great thing about these characters in particular, I haven't actually tried it frame perfect with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, if you time it perfectly, you can do a key blast into a flank into another key blast and you can still get it to chain.
Okay.
I don't think I'll be... Oh, there, see, I got it.
Alright, so it will be like...
Now, one of the benefits to this is it's mainly a flex, but there are a couple of... There's... Like, if you can still stay grounded from this, which is not bad. And the reason why you want to do that is just in case you want to keep doing flanks to throw your enemy a curveball. And we're just going to focus on this for a little bit. Maybe during the last 30 or 15 minutes we'll take it to the air because 95% of battles always take place in the air. But it's always good to cover what you can do on the ground as well. So switch to... let me switch back to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Try to perfect flank me again.
Alright. So it's at the same time and then move forward, or I should be...
It's at the same time while holding forward. The reason why you want to hold forward is so you can realign.
Oh, I don't have to press like the down button, like, but since Gohan doesn't get alignment and he's still
Yes,
airborne.
exactly. So that's what I was trying to point out. When you do a flank with a character that's smaller than the character that you're fighting against, you'll end up going airborne. And if you want to do another flank, you will have to press your descend button in order to go back down to the ground in order to do another flank.
Correct.
So
So
that's what
that's
I would.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like an extra input that you gotta put in.
Yes. Now, in other forms of movement, I am going to switch to. Actually, I'll stay with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta here. Or actually, no, I'll switch to Super Saiyan 2 Gohan because I can't do it otherwise. So, you probably may have already noticed in case you've tried it, but Super Saiyan 4 Goku Vegeta and Gogeta's dashing charged ki blast, even on level 1, is too strong, meaning that when you do it against an enemy, they will automatically fall. The only exception to this rule are Giants and Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, meaning if you do a level 1, they will not get staggered. But if you do a level 2, they will still fall because the charge ki blast is just that strong. So what you want to do with Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan is you want to try and go for a dashing charge ki blast like this, and then go for an ascend into a descend, which is basically called a semi-flank. This is a great opener, especially if your opponent is kind of just standing still, doing whatever. You can dash at them either straight or you can dash like a curve like this, and this will give you the opportunity to go into a flank. Now, you don't necessarily have to do ascend into a descend. You can also do into descend like this. If you do it fast enough and properly, I don't actually I haven't put much time into that tech for descend because I suck at descending, but if you do it with the descend into ascending ki blast, it's not only a semi flank, but you will get a good combo starter off of it. So you do something like this and then like that, and then you can start doing into ki blasts. Yeah. So if you want
Yeah,
to give
that.
that a try, go for it.
All right. Let's see. No. Right. So kind of like that,
Yep.
or no.
So
Yeah,
what you
but
want to
that.
do is try to just keep aligned with me for the moment. Just do it in a straight line, and then what you want to do is right after the charge ki blast, you want to try and get to my back. There you go. But next time, try and throw a punch so that way you can see if you combo. Keep in mind that Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan's singular input for a punch is 2 hits. So if you do it correctly, the ki blast and the first punch input will end up being 3 hits total. There you go. Nice. You got it. Perfect. Do it again.
All right.
See if you can do it a couple of times.
Yep. Up. Up.
I think you got it, but I wasn't really looking since you did it more than once.
Yeah. The three hits thing.
Yeah. And the other thing you want to keep in mind is once you've done the flank, you want to make sure that you hold forward and don't press square too early. Otherwise, you'll end up. Do a rolling hammer on me. Do you know which one is rolling hammer? It's 4 squares and then triangle.
All right. No. No. No.
Nope, it's the last one.
All right. Let me see.
There you go. Now you see how I ended up. Did you hear how Gohan basically made a sound and then he had to realign and then I entered a punch? It's because while I was back turned, I entered a punch on you. And where I'm going with this is that if you end up doing the semi flank and don't align yourself first, you'll end up in that position and it'll give your opponent an opportunity to escape. So you want to avoid doing that. That's why alignment is so important.
All right. So it's just to trap the person that you're fighting with.
You got it.
All right. So let me
It's
see.
imperative that you always hold forward or left or right, sometimes even backward depending on your character in order to align, and then you can start pressing square again. In most cases, you want to do it like for a frame, and then you can start punching again. And the reason why I say maybe backward is because some characters' punch range is not so great. Like, their melee startup is one thing, but if their first punch doesn't have the greatest of range, it's not ideal to hold back because then your punch won't even connect. So if you do left, right, or forward, at least you'll not only stay aligned, but you'll also keep the distance closed. Alright, so now, yeah, give it a couple more tries. Try descending if you want to. So what you want to do is you want to do a dashing charge ki blast, and to descend into ascending ki blasts. Now keep in mind we're on buffer 7, so if you happen to not get it at all, don't worry about it. The connection's good, but you do have to compensate for input delay.
Oh, okay, so... Let's see. Oh, that's...
No, it's okay, don't worry about it.
Let's see. So kinda like that. Alright, now I did it fast enough, but let's see.
Yeah, so what you have to keep in mind with Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan when you're doing this tech is the fact that he's one of the fastest characters in the game in terms of dashing speed. So whenever you're moving around with him, you have to make sure, like, the moment you even tap R2, you have to be ready to immediately ascend, because he just moves so quickly.
Alright.
Just give it a couple more tries and then we'll move on to the next thing.
So...
Yeah, try it 2 more times. I'll also make a clip for you later and I'll send it to you in DMs once it's done.
Alright.
Alright, so the next thing we're going to move on to, since you need movement, is, I don't actually know what this is called, but the number 2 American player, I learned it from him, and he apparently learned it from a South American player, and I don't know who, but basically, when you do a sidestep while in close quarters, or even a backstep, if you hold X immediately after doing your sidestep, or whatever step it is you're doing, you can immediately dash out of the step-in barrier. So in this case, I'm holding back. So if I do a left side step into a back step like that, it works. So remember, don't double press it. Just press it once. And while you're in... Hold on a second. So hold on. I'm trying to pause it while I was moving. So while you're moving like this is when you already want to be holding your dash button. And you want to preferably hold it down left or down right.
Alright.
And if you do it properly, you'll end up, dashing out of the step-in barrier.
Alright, so I don't have to double press X.
No. You press it once, and the second time you press it, you're holding it. Hey, there you go. You got it. Nice. Do it again. Perfect.
Oh, so if I leave the X when I do this, if I leave it hold, like push down, it actually do it automatically.
Yep. You also want to make sure that you can do it down left and down right instead of just, straight out of there, because you never know what kind of position you're going to be in. You could be against the wall, you could be near a building, you could be near a hill. If you don't have the space to do it, you have to go with whatever direction is available to you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to teach you is something called magnet break, which is otherwise called rompe iman in Spanish. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to do a dashing ki blast at me, and then you're going to hold X and backwards right as the charge ki blast hits me. If you do it, just hold block. Let me see if I can do it while you're blocking. I've never actually tried this on a blocking opponent. I don't know if the ki blast has to actually land or if I can do it while you're blocking. Oh, I can. Okay, so you see how I dashed out of there, right? The moment your dash key blast hits you is when you want to press X and then hold backwards or down left and down right. So just give that a try, and then we'll move on to something else that you could use this tech for.
Right. So if I combine it with this, will be all right now.
No, you have to do it while dashing.
All right.
And remember to press X after the charge key blast hits me, because you don't want to do like the tech that I showed you a moment ago, like holding X right as you press X. This one is just purely timing. You want to press X right after it hits.
Sorry.
Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan is pretty fast, so if you want, you can switch to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta.
Yeah, to get a feel for it.
Exactly.
So it has to be this, and then you can like.
Yeah, and then you can dash out of there.
It is the moment that the thing hits, right?
Yes. So if you want, I can try it again on you really quick and see if I can do it. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, guard. Hold block. Hold block. Yep, just like that. Oh, another thing I can teach you before you can continue doing this is something called dash boosting. I don't know if I already told you about it, but basically if you cancel your dashes while dashing, you can store your speed. So you see how slow I'm moving right now, right?
Yeah.
But if I cancel it a couple of times, you see how much faster I'm moving?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is called dash boosting. So when you're doing Rampe Iman, aka Magnet Break, you are also dash boosting at the same time. So if you can get that under control, then you'll definitely have your movement.
I think I kinda did it, but I just went over you.
Okay, so what you want to do is stand still for a second. You want to do it from about this distance, whole block. Because this will give you enough time to do your dashing charge key blast, because Gogeta is not one of the fastest characters in the game. So if you do from about this distance, this will give you more than enough time to actually get on X. So you can try it from here and see if you can do it.
I would say this is the hardest things that I have ever tried in this game.
Well, a couple of my other students managed to get it, but what's difficult or easy for one person might be completely different for another, right? So if you happen to not get it, don't worry. And again, keep in mind, we're playing in 7 buffer, so you do have to time it ahead of time as well.
Alright.
Try it 10 more times, and then we'll move on to something that you should enjoy.
Oh, don't worry about the tedious part of the thing. I need to learn it anyway, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so. Let's see. So I need to be holding forward so I can like finish the dash.
Yes.
Because if I
And
try
then
to dash without putting any input, it's just gonna stop.
yes. And then after that, once you've done the charge key blast, you want to hold X and then just down left or down right to dash out of there. Or just hold down.
Alright. So.
If I have to, I'll also make a clip of this for you as well, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, give it 5 more tries, and then we'll move on to the next part. If the connection buffer weren't so high, then I definitely wouldn't mind sitting here and just letting you try it for a little bit. you would definitely get it sooner or later. But with buffer 7, it's a bit more of a chore. Okay, do it 2 more times. 1 more time. Okay, so let me see 1 more time if I can do it. Whole block. Yeah, I can still do it. Okay. The next thing we're going to move on to is something called key poking, which I'm not too sure if you've seen it or not, but basically it's like this. Not like that.
I have tried to do that. It goes like.
So basically what you want to do is you want to hit dash and then R1 and then triangle, and you want to keep doing this continuously, and if you do this properly you can keep your combo going. But the best way to do this actually would be to learn how to do R1 and R2. I use a PlayStation 5 controller and I am terrible at using R2. Like I also have long fingers, so it's really bad for me, so I'm usually like accustomed to doing R1 like this. But if you can get used to doing both, which I highly recommend, then I would do that. So what I want you to do actually is switch to Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And the reason we're doing this is because he's one of, if not the best key poker in the game. Don't quote me on that. I don't actually think he's the best, but I know he is one of the best, yeah.
He has the most damage output on key
yeah.
blast.
So what you want to do is you want to focus on doing this. Maybe try to put in some R2 there if you're able to.
So that movement, that thing, like doing this short dash, that would be canceling the input that I have on the left stick, correct?
Yes. So basically, you're doing it left, you're doing it right, you're doing it backwards, you're doing it forward. Like if you do it forward, you'll be able to do this, and you can keep going forward. Now, the only thing is, when you're doing it forward, you have to be careful that once you get into close quarters, some characters have a giant throw. So if you're holding forward and you still press triangle, you're going to end up doing a giant throw. So the moment you get in close quarters, you want to make sure that you let go of your directional input, or at least start holding left, right, or backwards, or nothing at all. And that way you can still at least shoot Ki Blast instead of doing a giant throw by accident. So I will come down here. You can give this a try. What controller are you using?
Xbox controller.
Oh, Xbox. I feel like that would be easier on an Xbox controller than a PS5 controller. For the right trigger, anyway.
Yeah. It's kind of easier, but the thing is that I need to get used to the inputs. Like, sometimes I can... Oh, I did it there. But that's the thing. When I try to do it, I just usually end up doing a Ki Blast ascent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like this thing.
Yeah, so if you end up doing the ascending Ki Blast, it basically just means that you're doing it too soon, and you have to do it a couple of frames later. That's all. Like, if you want, what you can do is you can just keep doing this. Sorry, not that. Just keep doing dash cancels with R1 and R2. And that way you can get your thumb and index finger used to the input for it. And then once you feel comfortable, then you can start, tossing some Ki Blasts and see how it feels. And then, of course, if you do R2... See, I'm getting it now for some reason, but I'm actually not good at using this at all. See, like that? If you end up doing key poking like that, it'll easily give you the opportunity to close in on your opponent. And the best thing, or most notable thing about key poking, is that when you're doing key poking, you want to make sure you're doing it with a plan. So, like, for example, if we're in front of each other, come here for a second. If we're in front of each other and I decide to do this, I basically want to get around you like this, and this will give me the opportunity to get to your back. So you want to make sure that you also master the close quarters dash that I showed you before, because this will also allow you to do this. It'll allow you to
Oh,
flank to the back.
yeah, like kind of get away, then keep poke, and then get
Exactly.
close from the back.
So if you want, what you can do is come in close quarters really quick, and you can try doing this. See if you can do a frame perfect one, and it'll actually help you to get to your opponent's back. Exactly. The moment you do the dash is when you want to cancel it with R1 or R2, and you kind of want to do like you want to hold it to the side and then forward, so that way you do like a kind of a hook dash.
Alright, so it will be
There
up
you go.
down.
Yep. Do it
Alright.
again. You just got to be faster, is all. Remember that if you're dashing backwards, what you want to do is, if you end up dashing backwards, you want to instantly hold forward so you can realign, otherwise, like that. Otherwise, you won't be able to shoot the key blast. So if you come up here for really quick, come up to the top of the stage, that way you'll end up being able to do something like this. Hold on. Something like that.
Up.
See? See how I can go like back and forth like that?
Correct. Yeah.
So you want to try and make sure that you can get those movements down. And the best way to do that at the moment, if you need to get used to it, is just keep doing these dash cancels like this. Do R1. Try to get used to doing R2, only because it's very healthy to do it. And if you can do it, then great. The only reason I'm not that great at it is because, again, R2 on the PlayStation 5 controller is very sensitive, and I have long fingers.
Okay, so that is the movement, correct? Like
Yes, that is the movement. But you're also going a little too high. What you want to do is you want to kind of like tap it so it kind of looks like this. You see how I'm like pretty much staying in line with you? I'm not actually going higher.
Alright. Yeah, because I'm getting.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap R1 really quickly, see if I can get it frame 1. You see how I'm barely just moving higher? If you can get that kind of movement down, that's the kind of tap that you want to do while you're moving. So it'll look like this. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, the thing is, I can get it like when I'm concentrating on doing it. The thing is, doing it fast enough while fighting.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So I think practice will teach me that.
Practice definitely makes perfect, and then after that you just need to make sure that you can fight more people. If you want, you can switch back to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, because since he's not as fast, you can still get the movements down and keep an eye on how Gogeta is moving while you're doing this. If you're able to do a chain on me with 3 or 4 key blasts while doing the dash canceling, then I'm sure that you'll be able to do it just fine offline, because we're playing in 7 buffer.
Alright. So let's see. Yeah, I understand the gist of it. I just need to practice it more.
Yeah, for sure. Practice makes perfect after all. We were covering mainly just movement. I'm just kind of wondering, is there anything else I could teach you? I mean, for the heck of it, if you want, you can try the what the South American players call is the rebo, which I was doing a moment ago, which is basically this: forward, back, forward, back. If you do that properly, you'll be able to do like a complete chain, which looks like a spider's net, basically. You see how I was able to keep you chained there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you want to aim for.
Alright, so let's see.
Oh, there is one other thing I can show you, which is another benefit of ground combat. So, use power up to the very limit and come down here. This might take me a couple of tries, but what I want you to do is go to the top of the stage and use the Z-burst to dash attack, which is basically just a dragon dash, again, while dragon dashing, and then press triangle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and perfect flank to show you that it can be avoided, in case you haven't seen that yet.
Alright, so the Dragon Dash is like the special that is not.
Yeah, so you want to do this, and then you want to press triangle. Yeah, try it again. This might take me a couple tries. If you do it properly, you'll be able to completely evade your opponent's attack. So you can do triangle or you can do square.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I see.
So it'll look something like that. Basically, you'll end up doing your attack, and because I'm moving so quickly, you won't actually be able to hit me. That's another benefit of ground combat, is that whenever you're on the ground, you can pretty much just like weave in and out using perfect flanks all the time. But again, most of the fights that happen online always take place in the air, so you want to make sure that you get a good control of semi-flanking, key flanking. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to teach you, actually. Switch to Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan. So there's another mechanic in the game called key flanking, where if you dash and do your dashing key, every character has a set amount of key blasts that they can shoot. So if I do one singular input with Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan, he does 4, but he can shoot a total of 8 if I recall. Now if you do this, if you wait until the last one hits and then you press circle, you'll be able to dash out of there, but you also want to make sure that you can get to the back of your opponent using a dash key flank. I haven't actually mastered this mechanic at all, but let me see if I can do it.
Alright.
You can hold guard, by the way, just so I don't kill you.
So,
did not mean for it to happen like that.
right, so if I press circle while doing that, I will like get the back from that, right?
So if you do it, if you press circle, you'll end up doing this. You'll dash out of there and enter your key deflecting animation. But what you want to do is you want to do another key blast input, so you'll end up dashing behind the opponent. So keep blocking. I'll see if I can do it. So I'd take these several tries. Come closer since you're near the wall. I almost got behind you, but you get it. Since I got to the side and I still managed to hit you, so if you want to give it a try, I would recommend, yeah, you might as well just stick with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He'll shoot 5 as one input, so after the 5th key blast, what you want to do is you want to hit circle, and see how I got to the side like that, but not quite to your back?
Right. Is there any input that I need to place on the left stick besides forward?
As far as I know, I don't think so. But you can hold forward anyway, and because that'll just make it easier for you. And then once your fifth key blast hits, then you just want to focus on hitting circle and then quickly hitting triangle.
Alright, let me give it a try. Oh, no, that one no. Oh,
So if you want to get a hang of it, what you can do actually is do a single triangle input while dashing and then press circle after the fifth one hits. Okay, see, now you can do that. Now what you want to focus on doing is right after you've entered circle, after the fifth key blast hits is when you want to press triangle, but you also want to wait a couple of frames, and that's the tough part. You want to wait a couple of frames so that you gradually move to the back, and then your key blast should come out somewhere around here. That's how you'll end up doing the key flank. Almost. Nice. See, so if you go too far like that, it means that you're doing it too late, and you just need to do it sooner. Hey, you got it! Nice! Perfect.
alright. I think I get the timing of it. It's not as far as I was thinking, but a little bit closer
Yeah.
to the...
Yeah, go for it. You can try it again.
Alright, so let's see.
We've got 12 minutes left, so see if you can get it one or two more times. Hey, nice! Okay, cool. Do it one more time. And then we'll see if you can do the magnet break again.
Alright.
Oh, almost. You needed to wait a couple more frames until Gogeta got to the back, but otherwise you got it. So you can keep trying. Nice! Perfect. Okay.
Alright.
Now what I want you to do is try and get back to doing Rompe Iman. So what you want to do is hold block. Hold block. So the moment my charge key blast hits you is like somewhere within these frames is when you want to press X and then dash out of there. Like that.
Alright, so it's kinda when the key blast leave Vegeta's hands.
Sort of, yeah. It's between that and when it lands on the character. It's purely timing. And remember, we're playing on buffer 7, so what you want to do is the moment that the charge key blast hits you, you already want to try and press X because you need to time the dash ahead of time, just due to input delay.
I think I'm doing it too soon. Yeah, I'm doing it too soon.
So the thing about magnet break is there isn't exactly a defining factor to find out if you're doing it too soon or too late, because if you're holding back while practicing this and nothing happens, you're just going to end up drifting backwards. So the only thing you can do is just keep trying and see if you can get it.
It needs to be charged like to the maximum.
No, you can charge it at any level. Let me just give me a second. Just want to double check something. Okay, yeah, I am recording. That would have sucked if I wasn't. Okay, continue. Yeah, it doesn't need to be charged fully or anything. You can do it at any level, level 1, 2, or 3. Due to your lack of time to play, I think the training sessions might seem a little slow. But if you have the patience and you're more than willing to continue doing this, then it's just a matter of how much we can cover and how much time you have to dedicate to training.
All right, no problem. Yeah, I will keep practicing this like with the CPU too. So I just put it on block and give a go to it
Yeah,
so I
you
can
can.
get
Yeah,
better.
you can definitely do that. In terms of movement, there are a couple of other things I think I can show you, but I think what I'll do is I'll save it for the next session because you have to go in a few minutes. I have to make a list and review some things just to make sure I'm not going to be talking out of my behind. Are you okay with us stopping here for the time being?
Yeah, the first thing that you teach me it was like the ground wave thing.
Yes, the perfect flank.
Correct. The
So you
perfect
see
flank.
how you see now how I'm airborne after doing the first one.
Yeah.
It's because I'm not completely aligned with you. So if you stand still for a second, come here. You can see how Gogeta is kind of like looking down on me, right? He's not completely on eye level. So if I do a one perfect flank or just a ground dash in general, that makes me go airborne. So the best way to find out if a character is on equal alignment with you or at eye contact level is either by throwing a punch, because that makes you go airborne, or you can do a ground dash by just hitting R1 and X. It doesn't have to be any directional input. If you do without a directional input, you'll just, do a neutral dash. And this will actually tell you whether or not the character can punch without going airborne and can flank without going airborne. And the reason, again, why this matters is because if you want to do continuous perfect flanks without having to hit R2, then you'll be able to. Otherwise, with Team Gohan, you'll have to keep hitting R1, then R2 in order to keep doing this, right?
Correct. So it's R1 and then dash.
Yes.
Kinda is that input like sequence, but it needs to be done almost instantly.
Yes, almost simultaneously, if not simultaneously. Think of it as like you're hitting R1 and then you're hitting X like a frame or two right after that. So
Right.
another easy way to do it. Oh, you did it. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah,
There is another easy way to do this though. Hold on. There's a hill somewhere here. So if you do the perfect flank on me while I'm in this corner without any directional input, you'll be able to get the input down a lot quicker without covering too much distance away. So all you have to do is hit R1 and X. If you end up ground dashing and then not being able to do it again, it means that you did a perfect dash, but the goal is for you to actually do it in close quarters and remain grounded instead of going in the air.
okay.
So you see that one. You see how you have to hit R2. You did it again. You see you have to hit R2 because you were already airborne. That's how you
Correct.
know that you've technically done a perfect one, but it's not frame perfect. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, if you can do that one, all you have to do is make sure that you can try and sharpen it.
Right. All right. I think I get. Yeah, I can get it done.
Yeah, there you go. You
Just
get
need to.
familiarizing yourself with the inputs.
Yes, cause see the videos and stuff, and I try to practice it on myself. But having someone actually giving you like this rank and this, or try to do this and that is way better.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's why I decided to offer like start coaching people because everyone learns different things at a different pace and sometimes studying videos isn't enough for an individual. Sometimes people need someone to actually teach them these things personally, whether it's in person or through a call. So if this works for you, I'm happy. All that matters after this is that you have enough time here and there to actually boot up the game and just practice everything that you've learned and try and sharpen it, right?
Yeah. All right.
All right, I am going to stop the recording here. Do you have any other questions before I stop the recording, just so I can include it?
No, that was all. Actually, I would like to end the, if it is possible, to end our sessions with a spar, just to see how I can like place the things that you teach me into a real fight. So to see, I will have it in mind to actually do those things, so I can like get a better grasp of the concept on the things.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you saying you want to do just like one 3v3 right now?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, let me
Just
stop this
just to
recording.
end just to end the session and see